Stay savage, your boy ShinoBeenTrill is popping. Today we are back. Trap Ninjas. We are here, but we're back with some fact videos. It's been a minute since we did the Rin video. You know, I want to try to get more of these out as frequently as possible, but you know, I'll be trying to make other types of videos to cater to the audience and shit. So if you guys are excited about today's fact video, make sure you hit that like button. Now, I know a lot of times in the comment section, I usually ask you guys to recommend fact videos and recommend animes that you want to see. Now, I'm gonna say this: Bleach is probably one of those animes that's been on here like 100,000 trillion billion times. It really has. I'm not even gonna lie. You know, it was one of those things where I stayed away from it for a little while, but now we are here with our first Bleach fact video. Today we got the boy Renji. So if you guys are excited, if you guys are hyped, make sure you hit that like button. The like goal is 500 likes. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let's get it.
Whipping all this dope up in the trap house. We fuck all you bitches at the trap house. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. I can't trust you, I can't give you real address. Ain't no me that be like Jerry Stacker. I might fall in love with my trap house.
Number 8. In the manga, after Renji was attacked by Zenbon Zagara Kageyoshi, he produced a profound amount of blood, which rained down around him. In the anime, however, his silhouette was shown instead, and the profound amount of blood was not depicted after being produced, with less blood being shown after as well. Also, after Renji's Zanpakuto toe broke and shattered, he bled uncontrollably from the back, and after he grabbed Byakuya's scarf. This was later changed in anime and it wasn't shown. They didn't want it to be depicted because they wanted to add some censorship. Now, this has happened a lot of times in the manga versus the anime, because there are so many scenes in the manga that show a whole bunch of blood, but in the series of the TV show, they took it out. Number 7. Renji Shikai, while durable to an extent, can ultimately sustain serious damage the longer the fight drags on. While it can withstand dangerously prolonged combat, it has its limits in enduring high-level attacks that are conducted by either the enemy or Renji himself. Now, that's crazy, because if Renji dish out something too strong, he gonna crack that, but that shit crazy. Number 6. Renji possesses great physical strength. When he swings Zabimaru toward Ichigo in their second fight, he easily tosses him into the air and subsequently pushes him through an entire building about a dozen meters away from him relatively easily. That man always in the gym. Talk about leg day. This man ain't skipping leg day nor arm day. He's like beating your ass. Number 5. After training with the Royal Guard, Renji's donned special clothing in order to safely return to the Serite. These clothes are made up of the bones and hair of members of the Royal Guard, and they possess incredible defensive powers, allowing Renji to withstand the friction that results from breaking through the 72 barriers between the Soul Society and the Soul King Palace without suffering any damage. Number 4. While Zabimaru can be stretched to incredible lengths in its whip form, Renji has a limit of 3 consecutive attacks before having to bring the segments of Zabimaru back together for recovery, leaving him fairly vulnerable. This was noted by Ichigo during their fight. To make up for this, Renji usually relies on Shunpo to avoid attacks as he retrieves Zabimaru's segments. Number 3. As a student of the academy, Renji showed poor skills in Kido. He is later skilled enough to use Shako level 30 spell without incantation, but has difficulty using it in a rapid succession, as some will explode on him. He also uses a low-level Bakudo spell to restrain multiple targets. Number 2. Being a lieutenant of the 13th Court Guard Squad, Renji originally possessed high spiritual energy upon learning Bankai. This power increased on a scale from 5 to 10. When Rukia commented that the energy was so high that she could not recognize it until it decreased by the end of Renji's fight against Byakuya, which caused it to become more familiar to her. This spiritual power significantly increased again when Kiryu provided him with enhanced food, with her noting that his spiritual power is completely different from what it was before. Number 1. Renji is quite dynamic. His personality varies from smug and cocky to disquiet and depressed after a major defeat, but shows himself to be incredibly serious and determined as a fighter when confronted with an actual threat. He is willing to fight, kill, and die for whatever he believes in. Renji is a dangerous man to those who stand in his way. I mean, I think that's with anybody. If anybody stands in anybody's way, depending on the circumstances, somebody gotta lose an arm straight up. Alright, so you know how we get down. I always get down like this. Like, why would I change? You know how I do. I give you guys the facts. Right. You got your facts about Renji. Now I'm gonna give you guys my personal thoughts and personal opinions about the boy Renji. So, if you have your own personal thoughts and your own personal opinions, if you want to comment on a fight that Renji had, you want to talk about some crazy shit Renji did, make sure you leave that in the comment section below. And if you're watching this far into the video, man, you know, you might well hit that thumbs up, man. you made it this far. So with that being said, I'm gonna give you my personal thoughts. Alright, so my bed ain't made, but don't comment on the bed. I ain't really tripping about that. But we're gonna talk about the boy Renji. So when I first saw Renji, you know, I ain't gonna lie, I always thought Renji was gonna be like this dickish character. I never thought him and Ichigo would be cool the way they are. You know, I always thought they would always just have this complete separation from each other, because you gotta think about it. When they first met, you know, he was a super dick to Ichigo. He was always talking about, like, why would you give this human your powers? Like, who is this guy? You know, he's weak, he's pathetic, yada yada yada. He always talked down. You know, he had like this super like big man complex. Like, he thought he was better than everybody. He thought his shit does stink. He was literally like, I know you like to think your shit don't stink, but lean a little closer than you know what I'm talking about. But it was really fucked up. You know, I didn't think I was gonna like his character. Eventually, he kind of grew on me. And honestly, when he was fighting against Ichigo stepped up on his ass. Ichigo was like putting a pause on him. He didn't realize like Ichigo was serious. But the fact that he like took Ichigo like so little, he made him seem like he wasn't even serious. He underestimated Ichigo to the fullest effect. And I'm honestly saying, watching him develop, you know, and actually seeing him care about Rukia and like learning the past, I thought that was interesting, because when I first seen him, you know, he was talking to Rukia all stupid, all sideways and shit like that. Then eventually he found out that she was getting a death penalty, and a lot of people got upset, and he was one of those people that was like super upset, because if you don't know, they're childhood friends. A lot of you guys know, because you've been watching Bleach. We've been watching this shit. We've been seeing this shit. Like, it's just super old. So eventually, you know, he starts developing this cool character. I start seeing him like being caring about his friends and shit like that. And I was like, alright, you know, maybe he's not a dick, maybe he's not a super douchebag like he comes off to be, you know, maybe he's just a little cocky and arrogant. But then when I seen all those different personalities, I like, this man went into straight depression after losing to Byakuya. But what you expect, man? Sakura Kageyoshi, a motherfucking beast. Like, bro, if you didn't think he was gonna lose to that, I don't know what the fuck wrong with you. Honestly, I'm surprised Ichigo beat him, but you know, Ichigo's the main character, that's why they beat him. Like, I didn't even try to play favorites, but you know, Zenbon's like, but you know what? Like, watching Renji keep growing and excelling, it was pretty dope. Watching him refight Ichigo again up in the Soul Society, I thought it was pretty cool. You know, you got to see how strong he really was, and then you got to learn the weakness to his Bunkai, not his Bunkai, the weakness to his Zanpakuto, you know, 3 consecutive hits and shit like that. Then later on, I actually twist what I was thinking about into what I was just saying just now, but later on we got to see him use his Bunkai, which was really fucking cool. Like, I ain't gonna lie, not like off topic and shit like that, I didn't expect him to actually come out with a Bunkai just right away, him being that dope and that like seriousness, like that seriousness he had when I seen him with it. You know, I honestly felt a little scared for Byakuya, and I was like, yo, he might actually put the pause on you, he might actually put you down, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, it didn't happen. You know, the more like beat, like I said before, you know, I ain't no size, yeah, maybe just a little bit. But seeing him develop, seeing him grow, and seeing him like from the beginning of the shows and the first arcs, like the first major shits, you know, that was pretty dope watching him develop. But I still don't like the whole personality of him being arrogant as fuck, him thinking he was better than the whole, like, their little group and shit like that, him talking down on Ichigo and later on getting his ass destroyed. Ichigo put the pause on that man. Like, that man was not ready. Ichigo found out like the steps to his shit and then went ham. But that's just here nor there. But later on, seeing him develop a bond with Ichigo, seeing them go on different missions together, watching different Bleach movies, seeing him in them, and just seeing his personality grow as like a character, and seeing him become more like connected to Ichigo versus him being like this really like high and mighty character, because you know, he thought he was the shit because he was lieutenant and shit like that. He thought he was the best. Even watching back when he was in the school, when he was in the academy, you know, he always tried to show off. He always thought he was better than everybody. Like, he was talking about the guy that was like top in the class, and he wanted to use he was using keto, and kind of got fucked over trying to be like the best in the class, trying to show off. He's like, all right, so maybe I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna do a keto, I'm gonna do it better than him, I'm gonna hit it right on the target because fuck him, I'm gonna be better, so this is my competition. So it was cool to see him have that little rivalry spirit, and him having that person that he wanted to be better than, because that's always dope to see in like a TV show, when you always find somebody that could be a rival to somebody and you can honestly build off of that. And that's something he tried to create, but it was a little bit different for him, saying as he was bad at keto, but especially in like hand-to-hand combat, he was a lot better than most people. And then watching him get upset when he saw Rukia and saw how strong she was and shit like that, saw how much spiritual power she had, but we later saw his spiritual power develop, we saw it like raised to different ranks. It was something really cool. Like, it was really dope to see like the whole change in his personality, seeing the change in his power, just the concept as him as a character, because honestly I thought he was gonna be one of those backwash characters where he first shows up and then eventually you don't see him for the rest of the anime, or maybe he just like one of those side characters that don't have a really big role. But he had his own important fights, which were really dope. You know, it was something cool to see, and gave viewers a lot of interaction with him, and it gave us a little comfort zone with him, and made us feel like we actually knew the character, and we got to sit there and develop a bond with him. That's something I really enjoyed about Renji. Eventually, you know, he grew on me, but not in the beginning. You know, I seen him, I thought he had the big ass Sakura forehead, and I was just like, yo, what's your problem, bro? Shut up. You always talking shit to my man like my man ain't the truth. Like, you a bitch, fuck you, eat a dick. But eventually, you know, I'm on his side now, so that's what I gotta say about him. If you have your own personal thoughts and personal opinions on him, make sure you leave those in the comment section. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. And with that being said, my name is ShinoBeenTrill. Stay true and stay real. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and until next time, see you guys later. Bye.